Ladies and gentlemen, we've been away, but the Open Task Podcast has returned. I'm Calvin Smith. This is Joe Carlos. Joe, what's up, brother?
Hey, man. How's it going?
I survived a site visit from the LCME.
Hey, that's big, brher.
Yeah,
Hey,
waiting
prayers
for
up.
waiting for the results. I appreciate that. It's out of our hands now, but we're
Got it.
doing our very best to educate these doctors that a lot of other institutions had an opportunity to educate and choose not to. So, you know what I mean?
I understand.
So,
doing God's work.
Doing God's work, man. Indeed. Well, God put me here to do my work. You know what I mean? I'm placed here by God.
True.
But
True.
Indeed, man. So Joe, man, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Man, it's Oscar week. I've seen like one of the movies. Just kidding. I think I saw Don't Look Up.
Okay.
And I know I saw something else, but I know I saw.
Okay. Okay.
So back in the 80s, my mother wouldn't let me watch it and because of some of the people who were in it. And so it's just kind of had a stain in my mind. And it's really weird because, I can watch whatever I want to now, but I just, and I was in my anti-Timothy Chalamet phase at the time, which I've gotten over.
I like to think I helped with that. Hopefully, maybe
you did. Okay. No, and it was you and my dear brother, my homeboy Wes Anderson, that helped to get me over that. So
fair enough.
I'm now over that, and I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about the fact that I'm over that now. It was hatred for the sake of hatred, which sometimes can be fun.
We're entitled to that, brother. It's okay.
You and me both. Both. So party for your right to fight.
Exactly.
Said by the
Shout
great
out to
William Drayton. And who else? Keep going.
I was going to say
Carlton Ridenour.
Our main man, Carlton Ridenour, man, a frequent visitor to Morehouse's campus.
Yes, for those that disagree, we offer static to the original. I'm Asiatic.
Hey,
but no, I hadn't. I hadn't seen Dune. There's a lot of my. Like I was telling you the pre-show. I haven't seen West Side Story. I started it. And I was like, I've read this. I've read Romeo and Juliet. I've seen Romeo and Juliet. I've watched West Side Story, which we had to do in 8th grade music, which I thought was beautiful. Like we did that in music. We studied West Side Story music and read Romeo and Juliet like simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so, did that. This wasn't for me. I mean, I'm really happy for everyone in it, but it just wasn't. But I have seen all the animated features. As a father of a 7-year-old, I have seen the animated.
I know the other one that you told me one of them that you saw was Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
The other one had to be King Richard. You saw King Richard, right?
Didn't see it. I think it's still on HBO Max. I just, it's probably not going to be a popular hot take. I'm just not a fan of Will Smith's acting in serious roles. I think his space is Hitch. And now he's older, so he's got to show his versatility. But I think he's most delightful in Hitch.
Yeah.
And
the Bad Boys series.
Bad Boys 1 and 2. Bad Boys 3 can kiss the baby. It's up there with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Oh no! Don't compare it to the booger man. Oh man. The villain was made from a booger in that movie, man.
Seeing Martin run in the that was that's painful.
It's pretty bad.
It's like we don't want that scene, great scene in Any Given Sunday when he says, "You ever seen a boxer punch drunk and he can't move?" That's how I felt. But Martin had like some physical, ailments at the time, so he was going through some stuff.
Yeah,
understood. I get it. I feel you.
Yeah,
let's wait and not be tired by waiting, and then come back to this. That's just how I feel. So that's just
thank you, Richard.
But no, but I have to see King Richard. I promised the great Christian Chibuzo Wachuku Jr. Shout out to Christian that I would see it, and so I started King Richard. Macbeth.
Okay.
And I know he's gonna. Christian's gonna be mad at me about this one too. Damn, a lot of admissions right now. I started Macbeth.
Okay.
Here's another unpopular take, and I'm coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Come on.
When Denzel speaks in a low voice, he doesn't move his mouth.
Okay.
It gets on my nerves. So it's like, but like it's not moving his mouth.
That's
It
it.
really, really, it makes my skin crawl.
Okay.
So and I know what he's doing, and he's just so amazing, like physically gifted as an actor. And I started it, and the Coens, I'm here for anything Coen brother related, as I know you are as well.
Yeah.
And I thought it visually was like, it's gorgeous. So it is my intention to finish Macbeth.
Okay.
And to watch King Richard before Sunday.
Okay.
Although those are only a few of the films, but those are the ones that I feel I made promises to Christian, and I feel I need to see them anyway for the culture.
Okay.
So particularly with two Black leads, I feel I need to see those for the culture. I mean, I watched Don't Look Up thinking it was a farcical thing, and it was.
No, that was a documentary, brother.
The best written things in the last 20 years.
Adam McKay is incredible, man.
He's on fire. He's on fire.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
But how many have you seen?
I saw 5 of them.
Oh, look at you.
I mean, I had a lot of time on my hands. You raising a young lady in today's world.
She goes to bed. She goes to bed at a certain time.
Husband. You know what I mean? I am the dutiful and fantastic husband. So,
thank you.
I'm out here for the streets. So,
for the streets.
I'm for the streets, man. I'm no good. So, but yeah, man. So I saw Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Dune.
Nightmare Alley is on HBO Max, isn't it?
It's on HBO Max.
Okay, I'll have to watch that. Dune was on HBO. Is it back?
I don't think it's back yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's back either. Because it would have been like,
they'd
have put it up on everything.
Yeah, The Power of the Dog and King Richard. And so Power of the Dog is probably going to win. I fell asleep twice, much like I did on Mank last year. But it's one of those movies.
I like Mank, and I tried to get you to watch it. I like Mank.
I enjoyed Mank, and to that point, I enjoyed Mank more than I enjoyed The Power of the Dog. But I think The Power of the Dog is a better. It's an Oscar bait type movie. It's much like Nomadland was last year. It's gonna win. I think the movie I enjoyed the most was Don't Look Up, and second most was Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley was actually very, very good for me. But it's Guillermo del Toro. It's pretty much in a lane now, and so it's got his guys in it. Richard Jenkins is in it. All these people that he always cast. You know what I mean?
I love me some Richard Jenkins, though, man. I'm a big fan.
Me too. Bradley Cooper disappears into the role. You forget it's Bradley Cooper for a little while. But Cate Blanchett, her character.
That's Nightmare Alley, right? This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Cate Blanchett's a little weird in it, man.
She's also in Don't Look Up.
Yeah, and she's better in Don't Look Up.
I thought she was great in that. I really did. I thought everybody was awesome.
Yeah. I really want to try to catch Licorice Pizza in Belfast, and what I'm most excited for is Coda. I really, 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 really want to see Coda, and I think a big part of that is just from last year's experience with The Sound of Metal, and I've heard great things about that movie, so I'm excited about watching that. But I got a confession to make. Never seen any version of West Side Story. I've seen Romeo and Juliet. We saw the I guess that lady's name is Olivia.
Yeah, Zeffirelli.
But I've not seen West Side Story in any way, shape, or form. I know that.
I mean, it's beautiful. You should. I'd watch it. I mean, there's some great.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, and I enjoy the occasional musical. You know what I mean? Like I was a fan of Chicago. I'm not opposed.
I like Chicago. I like Chicago.
I'm not opposed to a musical, although it is not my favorite genre. Shout out to Cassie David, who loves The Sound of Music and all the others. I'm not as into them, but I'm gonna check it out. I also, for some of the acting performances, I agree with you. I need to see Macbeth. I mean, I'm like you mentioned, a Coen Brothers stan. Not so. I love Jessica Chastain, but I'm not so interested in this Eyes of Tammy Faye. I mean, it is what it is. Just not that interested in it.
It's been on HBO for like a minute. They've been like daring me to watch it.
Yeah, I'd rather spend that time watching the Righteous Gemstones or Winning Time or any number of
And
other
I'm in a Veep binge right now. It's season 4. She's president. She's running for president. I'm in a Veep binge. Yes,
nice. I need to pick that back up. By the way, I binged like a whole season, and I was surprised by Anna. I think you told me Anna Chlumsky was in it, but I might have forgotten. And I'm a big My Girl guy, so. But one more thing about the Oscars before we jump in, because I know you wanted to talk about something else real quick before we jump into our movie. But the best supporting actor category this year, Cody Smith-McPhee, his parts of Power of the Dog and like the interplay with him and Benedict Cumberbatch, who really, I hope Will Smith gets it for the culture for the Issa Rae reasons, you know what I mean? But they put on a very, very good performance and together in synergy. It was a very, very, very good performance. So I would not be surprised if one of the 3 males that are up for an award gets one of the awards they're up for. Would not be surprised to see Kirsten Dunst get the best supporting. Although Dame Judi Dench, I hear, and Ariana DeBose apparently was incredible in West Side Story as well. So
what's Jesse Plemons in?
Jesse Plemons is also up for best supporting actor.
It's my guy, man. It's Landry.
I love Fat Damon. Don't get me wrong. He's my guy. I love him. My man, the Butcher of Laverne. I'm a big.
I'm a huge game night. I'm a huge game night fan.
Yeah.
I thought his deadpan brilliance in that film really brought it home. I mean, Bateman. I'll watch anything with Bateman, but he was. Clemens has come a long way since Landry. In Dillon, Texas.
Oh yeah. And Todd in Breaking Bad. Did you? Yeah.
No, yeah. But I know he played the character.
Yeah. Anyway,
he was also in Judas and the Black Messiah. He makes good choices.
Yeah. No, he's one of our treasures. I'm jokingly calling him. I'm a fat guy myself. I'm jokingly calling him Fat Damon. That's what my podcast, my Fargo podcast, was calling him, guys. So that's the reason I'm calling him that.
I've never heard that before tonight.
He looks like yeah. And one last shout out since I'm talking about it. My man Mance Raider, aka Syrian Hines.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of that guy too.
Syrian Hines is always good, and anything he did.
Yeah, so they best supporting actor, and then last but not least, I don't know much about Troy Kotsur, but I've heard he's incredible in Coda. And then my man J.K. Simmons, man. Hey, J.K. Simmons can do no wrong in my eyes. This is loaded category, man. Loaded.
I did see that's one. I did see that one. It's up for Best Picture too. I think the no, Lucy is it Lucy Ricky?
Being the Ricardos is actually not up for Best Pictures.
Oh. Okay, well, I watched.
I think it's up for director, but not picture. One of those things like that.
What in the world?
I think. Let me look though, because it's not up for director either. It's not up for director either. It's only up for
all the actors except for supporting actors. And I thought she was outstanding. And I think that was a major snub. Not to mention, let me get back to the snubs. Let me get to the snubs.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright's turn as Roebuck Wright.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Almost unforgivable.
Oh, it's unforgivable in my mind. It's unforgivable. I don't know what else he has to do. And it was such a. I think that they didn't know what to do with that film.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, it's not like they don't know who Wes is. I mean, Wes used all of his tricks.
Yeah,
he used everything he possibly had.
Yeah,
in the tool bag for this film.
Yeah,
and it was not celebrated, I think, the way it should have been celebrated. And I thought specifically the Roebuck Wright character, played by the great Jeffrey Wright. I feel like, am I saying that right? Is that his name? Was Roebuck Wright?
Roebuck Wright. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought Roebuck Wright was outstanding. I also I love Benicio del Toro's
the Crazy Painter.
Yes, I love him in that. And my man Adrian Brody. I thought Adrian Brody was hilarious in that. I mean, he's always Adrian
He's
Brody's
always
good.
good. He's always good.
Particularly in the West, particularly in these Wes Anderson
yeah.
Films. But also I thought it wasn't a lot. I thought Bill Murray was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought Bill, it was the right touch of this patrician like editor who cared for his writers, took care of his writers. I thought it was strong, but who really, I mean, Frances McDormand, she can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And Timothée Chalamet, I thought was just brilliant in the film as well. And so
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did not know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And visually it is stunning. Now it may be up for some technical awards, but visually, I mean, it's stunning, and they just didn't know. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I thought Jeffrey Wright, even though it would have been a very rough field in a supporting actor, because I don't think anybody's a lead in this film, other than there was no leads in the film.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think his performance should have rewarded with a nomination. That's how I feel.
Sure. One more out of the traditional categories, but best documentary feature, Summer of Soul.
Yeah, watch that.
Watch that.
Yeah, I saw some of those. Now I saw like, how many are in that category?
5.
I saw like 3 of them.
Nice.
So I did. So that is a majority.
That's you're grown up, Jeff. You're grown up.
But because of Prime and Netflix and Hulu and all these other streaming services now, we're able to see these things that 10 years ago you'd have to go to art house theater to watch.
That's a very unsung aspect of the streaming services, is how accessible documentaries are now.
Good stuff that you want to see.
Yeah, they give you the snippets like that make you very interested in them, and then they start going viral. You know what I mean? Like you know. I mean,
yeah, Summer of Soul. I mean, I'm really hoping it works out. I don't know. I don't know how this all
but
works.
The Academy loves Questlove.
They do. We'll see how much they love.
We'll see how much they love.
Shortly, yes. Yeah, we'll see how much they love.
Sure. He's a very notoriously sensitive guy. So I mean,
I'm sure.
For his sake, I hope that he gets his roses. You know what I mean?
I hope it works out.
Yeah, a Questlove John.
Questlove John.
Man.
John. I want to say something about William Hurt. The actor,
please do.
Actor Bill Hurt passed away. You may know him from The Kiss of the Spider Woman. You may know him from maybe. You may know him from not regarding him, The Accidental Tourist.
Yeah.
These are the films of our
broadcast news.
Broadcast. Well, and I'm getting to that one. You may know him for his Oscar nominated turn. I think it was in broadcast news.
Yeah.
As
three
Tom
consecutive.
Yeah. Oh, he was on a roll.
Spider Woman.
Yeah.
Children of a Lesser God.
Children of a Lesser God. That was the other one.
Broadcast news.
Broadcast news. He was on a roll.
Yeah.
And most interestingly in that film, he made there was a silhouette of his being that was in that film. It was a very famous scene. But Hurt always could deliver a line, I thought, beautifully. And even as he got older, I thought he was great. Even in there's a horrible film directed by De Niro about the beginning of the CIA and Skull and Bones, and I think it's called the Good Detective, or I can't remember what it's called. The Good Shepherd. 3 hours of like, what did I watch? But I thought he was great in that as well.
Yeah.
And then he played Paulson in an HBO film, Too Big to Fail. And I've watched that movie, even though I know exactly what's going to happen. And I love the HBO biopics. I love them. I watched The Late Shift. And if you've never seen The Late Shift, you ever seen that, Colin?
No, I don't believe I have.
It's about the late night wars.
I did see that. Yeah.
And between Jay, and Dave.
And Dave, yeah.
The crazy thing about the movie, I know that halfway through they had to be like, why are we making this movie? Mm-hmm. But the music in the background is so bad and cheesy, but it's so late 80s, early 90s, and it's absolutely hilarious. But they made an entire movie about this decision of who was going to get the Tonight Show. But anyway, I love the HBO biopics, and I think he's done a few of those. So he's always great. Yeah. And of course in The Big Chill. Awesome.
Yeah,
So major
absolutely,
loss, major
absolutely.
loss,
Yeah.
and but the world is better for his art.
Our younger people might remember him from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He played the second iteration of Thunderbolt Ross, General Thaddeus Ross. He was in Civil War. He was in Infinity War, etc.
Of course.
So he had a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just as you mentioned, an incredible actor. He could disappear into a part. He could become and I think my favorite of his filmography is actually A History of Violence. I thought he was just incredible as a brother. Viggo Mortensen's brother in A History of Violence, and just and he got a lot of acclaim for that role as well. So tremendous loss. I mean, I guess as we age, it's gonna keep happening, But
yes,
that's a part of life, right?
That's life.
That's life. Real quick, shout out to our Supreme Court nominee who had to undergo. I thought my week was hellish, but having to sit in front of some idiots and be grilled by idiots about what she knows best. The most qualified candidate we've seen in our lifetimes, probably in anybody's lifetime.
Right.
For the Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Just really, my heart goes out to her. And I mean, imagine she's undergoing this in public, in front of everyone, and handling herself very well, and they have the audacity to do it in such a brazen way. Imagine what our sisters are doing daily, in terms of like not having a public audience, not having support. And speaking of support, man, Cory Booker. I've said some things about Cory Booker in the past. Certainly there's been some professional and otherwise jealousy. Some of the young ladies I've had crushes on him, and have had some disdain for him from that standpoint. But certainly he came to her defense as really the best example of how you should come to the defense of somebody in this kind of instance. So I really wanted to give props and a shout out for that. But it's a shame that it has to come to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. So what we are here to talk about is the film du jour, the film that we have chosen to talk about from 2018, based on the hit novel, the 2013 novel by Kevin Kwan. We're talking about Crazy Rich Asians tonight, directed by Jon Chu. And famously, the casting of this movie was a big deal. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in our discussion. But Joe, what was your lead up for this movie? How did you become aware of it? What was it like for you?
I saw all the advertisements. I didn't know about the book, but I saw all the advertisements, and oh boy, I saw all the advertisements. And the crazy thing to me about stop saying crazy. The interesting thing to me about it was that I don't know. I don't know if I was seeing movies in 18. I don't know what was going on. I hadn't seen it, right? So fine. So I didn't see it. But then it kept being like around me. And maybe it was on HBO Max or HBO Go, maybe whatever it was at the time. I think it was HBO Go at the time. And I was on a flight from in June on Father's Day, actually, and Father's Day 2019, flying to Washington D.C. And for work and to attend the wedding and of Jeffrey Donnell Tate. And and so on the flight, Crazy Rich Asians was available. And I was a very early flight, it's like 7 a.m, so I could go to surprise John Cox at his church. I was surprising him, Randall Whitman was surprising, we were going to surprise him at his church. So nice. At a very, very early flight, like 7 a.m, out of Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson to DCA. So anyway, I head in, I'm on the plane. I don't have the jack headphones. I have my AirPods. And I choose Crazy Rich Asians because I've been seeing so much about it on HBO Go, and because it had captions. And so I was the only way I could watch anything. And so, and they didn't have any even any headphones for sale. They didn't have anything. So anyway, long story short, I watch it. I'm like, oh, this is great. But I'm reading the captions. I said, man, this is great. But I land and I'm like, man, okay, I'm gonna stop here. And when I get back to the room, I had like 2-3 hours before I had to be at church. So I said, oh, this is perfect. I can sit here and watch it. So I turned the movie on. And brother, when I heard the voices, I said, oh, forget this. I haven't seen a thing. I got to start over. Because it was a totally different film with sound, as movies are.
Yeah, sure.
But, oh my gosh, it just sounded so amazing. Yeah. It was a totally different movie. And I was instantly mesmerized by the story, even though, the story is not exactly the deepest story, but I was instantly mesmerized by the story, by culture, by class, by race. And the fact that there is a place, there are several places on the planet Earth, but there is a place on the planet Earth where they don't care about anybody else other than themselves. And I'm saying that to say they are not in any way, shape, or form concerned with conforming to Western ideals. And one of the things I loved about this film was it kind of reminded me of Spellhouse. Yeah, it just kind of reminded me of HBCU culture, and we don't really need you at all. and I think that's why I love this movie so much and pushed for it to be a film that we discuss. Sure. And I say that not in any antagonistic way whatsoever. I just want to be abundantly clear that tell them we're thriving, tell them we're rising. It's okay. We too can create our own things, our own cultures, our own societies, our own intricacies in the way that we deal with each other and all that. And it has nothing to do with anybody else, which doesn't mean we don't love anybody else, doesn't mean we can't work with anybody else, doesn't mean we can't live with anybody else or anything like that. But I think one of the great things about the film that struck me when I finally watched it fully through was that they might modernize some things here and there. They were gonna stick to the way they were doing things in the single and double and triple digit years. Sure. In some way, shape, or form, and regardless of who was quote unquote running the world. Sure. This is their world and they run it. Yeah, absolutely. I admire the fact that they have been able to hold on to their identity to that extent, and I agree with you. The opulence of this film. I mean, it is what it is, man. And to your point about the HBCU family, and particularly our branch of the HBCU family. Yes, our branch. Yes. We don't care. We care, but we don't. We're in it for the culture, but within that culture, we have our own culture for sure. And you either get it or you don't. One of my favorite hashtags on the social media, if you know, you know. Yeah. So, for sure, man. For me, a lady friend introduced me to it, told me I had to watch it. Was not too excited about it, and then thoroughly enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the film. I would not say it is one of my favorite films, but I would say that I don't have any qualms about watching it and looking forward to the sequel for sure. Right. And to your point, the audio visual, I mean, it is mesmerizing. This movie, one thing about it is it's going to hold your attention for sure. Every aspect of the film, whether it is a dinner party, whether it's a debaucherous bachelor party, whether it is excessive bachelorette shopping extravaganza, whether it's like the any location in this film, even to the point of the mahjong
I don't know whether you call it the hall where that was being played, the game hall for the Mahjong. Everything about it was perfect in terms of visuals and audio. As you pointed out, man, like to hear these voices is striking. Particularly, when you hear Nick Young speak for the first time, and it's just like,
Right.
you're trying to figure it out. Like, wait,
what is
yeah,
going
what's
on?
going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is that kind of film. It's very well made, very entertaining. It's in that pantheon of films. If I ever had to suggest a date film for someone, both parties to thoroughly enjoy, because there are things for everybody in this film. And the story, as you mentioned, the story was, it's not exactly original, but the twists on it are I would say original, and the things that I think some things are timeless and need to be presented in a palatable fashion over and over and over again. And I think this film does a great job, particularly about generational differences and sacrifices made for the sake of love, sacrifices made for the sake of happiness, and how love and happiness intersect, because the two are mutually exclusive most of the time, but they can coexist and they do intersect, and you can find ways to make them weave and intersect perfectly, like a 300 count sheet. You know what I mean? So you can make that thing work, but you definitely have to work at it. And this film really speaks to that, I think, in an authentic way that I appreciated. It did not pander to you or beat you over the head with the message. And even the denouement with the Mahjong gang again, you know what I mean? Like that scene could have been handled in a way that was like kind of ham-handed, and it wasn't. It allowed you to kind of figure some things out on your own and come to a conclusion about why and how things were going to end up in this film. So at any rate, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it then when I saw it with Lady Friend. Enjoyed rewatching it a little bit more probably. I tried to watch it with my mom and my sisters in Atlanta, and I don't think they were in the mood for it necessarily. Given everything that was going on, but I think that I suggested to them to pick it back up at some other point when they are more in the mood for it, because I think they would really enjoy it as well. But there's that. So, Joe, what little things stand out to you in this film?
Well, it's. I mean, I don't know how to politely say this.
There's nothing really little in this film.
Nothing is little in this film. Nothing at all is little in this film, except mindsets sometimes.
Okay.
Or maybe they're more ancient than little. I was gonna say small-minded.
Sure.
But,
okay.
But or closed-minded, hide-bound, and agrarian thoughts. But that's when I'm ranting. I say, "This is agrarian thinking." That's one of my rants. Okay, so I think the little thing for me, you mentioned opulence. I mean, it's not a little thing. The opulence is not a little thing. Let me not state it that way. It's just when you think there can't be more, there is more.
Yeah.
And it's so absolutely beautiful. Like in the movie Hitch, when they kind of like scrubbed up New York in a way that was just, and they shot like 60 different locales in New York, and they made it absolutely. I mean, New York is beautiful. I'm not saying that, but the New York they showed us was in modern day times was an absolutely beautiful New York. Just 3-4 years post 9/11, and they hadn't really started making movies like that back then in New York again, And right. So then they take us to Singapore, and they take us to this whole completely different place that most of us will never go to. Yeah. And then not just do we see it from the extreme top. And so to me, one of the little things is the penchant for the opulence and the penchant for just showing just how much wealth the protagonists have, and what crazy rich means. You know, what crazy rich Asians really means. Like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, okay, well, how and why? So we see that, and we see different levels of that as well in the film. I think another little thing for me is just the little ways that they were interconnected by devices and social media. I like the way that they showed how quickly a little thing that someone saw, how quickly it bounced around the world and got back to your mother, or bounced around this, that, and another, and got back to your mother. And then I think the last thing for me, the last little thing for me, was the rules of society, and how they governed them, governed this group of people, regardless of what time period they were in. I thought that was a very interesting part of the film, and it was constantly driving story. So those were the little things for me. What about you?
In the vein of McKinley Price, I'm gonna say Singapore. Just how, again, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to go visit Singapore, but it's unlikely. But I feel as though this film really showed the opulence that is Singapore, and showed, I think, we have this idea of Monaco, for instance, right? And I've been privileged and lucky enough to see Monaco in person. And, like, you see it on film, you see it in, Casino Royale, you see, the F1 races and everything like that. But then you're walking the streets of Monaco and you see the racetrack, the start finish signs. You see a billion with a B dollar boat with a helicopter on the helicopter pad. You hear a helicopter on your hotel, picking someone up because that person has somewhere to be and has to be there by means of helicopter, and is nothing for them to do so. You know what I mean? So these guys in international waters having the party, you know what I mean, with the most obnoxious people possible, all of that, and you see, like, I see these students in my building every day in my apartment complex, and I see, Black, white, Asian, these students that go to an SEC private institution, you know what I mean, right here. I see students, and you don't know where they're coming from, but some of them are these people, you know what I mean? And so, and to be in Singapore, to be there, seeing the beauty, the lushness, like when they pull up to the crib the first time, and just like, like the lushness of Singapore, it was just amazing. So the locale was incredible for me. I know we'll talk about the music a little bit later, but the music was very important for me. Particularly the cover at the end of Coldplay's Yellow in Mandarin. I thought was, and reading up, have you read up on that story at all?
No.
Chris Martin and those did not want to give permission to make the cover of that. I think the only way that really works is with that. Having seen it that way, having that song there, it just, it was perfect. But not just that song. There was another. There was a Motown. I think Money. That's What I Want. Was that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was done in this film. I'm blanking on it.
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
But
I'm trying to pull up the soundtrack now. But I'm listening.
No, the music was incredible. And just they took a lot of heat for casting, and I can relate to it on a level of, from casting African American movies, and how we feel about light skin, dark skin, all this kind of thing. You know what I mean? The drop of blood. All these kind of things. It's just like a drop of Asian blood, I think was the quote that was saying a single drop of Asian blood was enough for Hollywood. It just was funny to me that the same kind of problems exist in those circles in terms of like casting ethnic, full-blooded Chinese people, versus someone who is not full-blooded Chinese, and then the backlash from people who were in the casting process, like Jamie Chung, who wanted to be in this film, and then she sees that Henry Golding was chosen, and the reason she wasn't a part of this cast was because she was Korean American. So like it's just like I don't know, man. To see that kind of thing play out in terms of the casting and everything like that was interesting to me. I think you really hit on the point of when you talked about the things that you enjoyed about it. I also agree with all of those things, but those were my little things about the film. In terms of the unsung heroes of the movie, who are the people that you or things that you thought were unsung in the film?
Well, because I can't fully endorse Awkwafina as a person, nor a character. I can't call her role an unsung hero.
Okay.
However, I love Kim Ji-young. Speaking of HBCUs, I love Kim Ji-young, whose father taught at A&T. I think his father still teaches at A&T, actually.
Yeah.
I really like the family. I like Awkwafina's family. I thought they were obviously an unsung hero.
Yeah, sure.
I thought they were an unsung hero who was very supportive. Obviously, which is kind of cliche, of course, but
sure.
the Goes, they were very supportive of Rachel, and of course, I mean, it's kind of not hard to love, Gemma Chan, as Astrid for so many reasons. But one, she's kind. Two, she's being cheated on. Three, she's gorgeous. Four, the character's wealthy. So it's kind of hard not to like her as a man. But I thought that her humility, her strength, and the way that she tried to help Rachel, and just her vulnerability with Rachel still showed. I thought she was an unsung hero as well in the film. And of course, I mean, it's too easy. It's probably gonna be one of yours, but of course, Nico Santos as Oliver.
Yeah, you already knew.
I mean, he that's literally the role he's playing. I mean, he's playing it's usually the magical Negro, but it's in this case, it's one of the gay best friends. In this role. But he's playing the male gay best friend who's in the family. And so, but I thought he did it with just effortless aplomb.
Aplomb is the word, brother.
he everything he did was spot on. To the money in his accent, to the fact that they love him, and yet they need him for so many things, and yet he was hilarious. I thought he did a great job.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Absolutely.
And that there is those Olivers in every culture.
Absolutely.
There's Olivers in it. Absolutely. There's Olivers in every single culture.
Absolutely.
But he killed it. He killed it.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could piggyback on that, because you already know that he was definitely one of mine. He was the moral compass of the film also. You know what I mean? Like, he was definitely, I think he legit saw both sides of things and was able to interpret for both sides, kind of like, that role of like the mediator, the diplomat, but also in his own thing and not really giving a fuck. You know what I mean?
None. Zero.
No fucks were given. And so, I thought that was a very good, I thought, he played very well. I got a lot of love hate, as I mentioned. So Bernard, our friend Jimmy Yang from what is that show that y'all made me watch that I'm enjoying?
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley, yeah. I'm enjoying Silicon Valley. I'm not laughing as much, but I'm enjoying it. I like the story. And yeah, so my man Bernard, man, he's just, oh my gosh, man, the most obnoxious, and we all know this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Right. I'm not gonna name names, but we could probably name some names of some people that are.
I think he's got like a Zach Galifianakis in The Hangovers, really more 2 and 3 when you knew that he came from money.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some of that in him.
Yeah.
But then he's just got like the worst of Belushi as
Yeah.
Bluto.
Yeah.
Or as Sean William Scott as Stifler. It's like you know,
See,
like when
that's
they
what
made you know, like when they made Destro.
Yeah.
And they made him they made Destro from all the worst, like from Hitler and Attila the Hun.
Yeah.
And
no, you mean Cobra Serpentor. When they made Serpentor.
Okay, sure. Whichever the one was that they made from all these bad guys. And they put them together. My bad. I said Destro. Destro was silver, wasn't he?
Yeah. Destro was from the he was a Scottish magnate.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
But whichever bad guy
would kill you, Joe, you know.
That's fine. Okay, cool. I was a little older, so you know, sorry. But we were doing other things. But having said that,
we were doing other things.
we were. Having said that, though, I thought he was like an amalgamation of everything that's like wrong, just boorish.
Yeah.
And if anybody seemed like Asian American, it was him.
Yeah.
It was like the worst caricature of. Actually, it was, but he was necessary. Go ahead. I thought he was necessary because, like, you see all these kids that go off to the boarding schools, and everything, and then they come back these polished, you know, scions of their family. But every now and then, you're going to get a squeaky wheel out of that. Oh yeah. Same school, same schools, almost the same amount of money, everything the same, it raised exactly the same, and yet you're still a jagged line as opposed to, you know, this cookie cutter.
As you mentioned in the earlier segment, we see it in our circles again. Like, you know, these guys that they may have gone to a boarding school, they may have grown up, you know, with some of the better trappings. But an asshole is an asshole,
no matter what.
This guy, and you know, some people have an affinity. I mean, you know, his boys love him. You know what I mean? And you know,
he went all out. But he went all out.
And he went all out. And he said, "Hey, this bachelor party was no joke, man." So yeah, I think Stifler was. I mean, he was the Asian Stifler for me. You know what I mean? Like he was giving off strong Stifler vibes, but probably it could handle himself a little bit better with the ladies. It seemed like, you know, than the Stifler did. But nonetheless, yeah, Bernard was also great. I agree with you about Gemma Chan. You know, she just, Astrid was just, oh man, incredible, and you felt so much for her in this film. Like, you know, I thought they did a great job of that B story with her and the things going on, and the kind of parallel perpendicular type deal going on with that story. I thought was very good, just to show that, you know, having all the trappings and having all the money and everything like that is not everything. You absolutely need to have those other aspects of it. Ken Jeong, you know, the son played by the great Calvin Wong. I got a shout out to all Calvins. By the way, shout out to Calvin McAllister today on his birthday. You know,
Cal. Happy birthday,
all Calvins, all Calvins in the world. Anybody named Calvin is a great guy. You're a baseline. And if they make any mistakes, it's because of their middle name. I think that's it for my unsung heroes. I think that there are some of the starring roles. There's some things I kind of want to say, and I'm glad that you mentioned Awkwafina in your earlier assessment, because I think there's some things that we probably should say about her as well. Because again, you know, I have feelings. I'm ambivalent, but not nearly as ambivalent. I think I'm leaning more one way than the other about her. So I guess, Joe, I throw it back to you. What are your thoughts on Awkwafina, man?
Um, don't make fun of my people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah. Don't make
Yeah.
fun of my people.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care what color you are. Don't make fun of my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know,
And
and you know, something my brother said on TMZ. He said basically like act like you got a mother. In other words, which is or something like that. Say something that you or show that you listen to your mother. Or basically what he was saying was, we all know the difference between right and wrong and
yeah.
decency and things of that nature. And there's a great monologue, probably the best part of the film, Bonfire of the Vanities, when Morgan Freeman gives a speech on decency.
Yeah.
And decency, he said, decency, he loses it and he says, it's what your grandmother taught you. You know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
Awkwafina knows the difference between right and wrong, and
Yeah.
she chooses to do wrong.
Yeah.
So this is a choice she's made.
Yeah.
And she's made a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
And continues to.
Yeah.
But I stop making fun of don't make fun of my people.
Yeah. And in the great tradition of Al Jolson and you know, I'm trying to think of C. Thomas Howell, you know what I mean? Like
that was one movie, but yeah, I'm with you. Yes. Yes.
You know, it's a fine line, man. I actually was asked by a friend of mine about kind of meting out the whole Robert Downey Jr. blackface thing in Tropic Thunder. Okay. You seen Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I just didn't mind it so much because I love Robert, or I don't know.
I was able to finally come to the conclusion about it, and here's what it was, man. It was a parody of a parody, so there's that aspect of it. He was playing someone who was a obsessive method actor. You know what I mean? And to the extent that they didn't show him just as that, they also talked about how he threw himself into his other roles. Okay, and it was a parody of a parody.
Remember that scene where he just like spazzes out and he's got to like go back and find himself again.
Yeah,
he keeps forgetting. What was the one with him and Tobey Maguire?
Oh,
like,
man!
It
was like the Priest movie. Yeah.
But it was called like Hell's. I can't remember what it was.
And it had the song Satanist by what is that group? You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
That song.
We really should do Tropic Thunder, by the way. But which I think is an underrated film on countless levels.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I thought one of the most brilliant things of that movie was the trailers that set up the whole film, because
who these actors were, right?
Who these actors were, because if not, I'm thinking it's Jack Black and the young brother, and I'm thinking it's all the Stiller, people. Yeah, Danny McBride is in the movie. Yeah, Stiller, Happy Jack, and of course Robert Downey Jr., Matt McConaughey. Good Lord.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on there. Tom Cruise. I mean, how did he survive after that caricature?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know they were gunning for him. Yeah. But at any rate, I say all that to say, it was intentional and it was a parody, and he knew what he was doing. Awkwafina also knows what the fuck she be doing. And you know what I mean? For her, every state, she's been given countless opportunities to own up to it and to say what it is. You know what I mean?
And denounce the bullshit. Yes.
Exactly. And then, to try to put it off as like part of the immigrant journey and yada, yada, that's bullshit. And so, it's hard for me.
And the thing is like, well, I'm telling you now, fuck that.
Right. Exactly. So now that you can no longer claim ignorance. So, right. You know what I mean? So it's so hard for me because I truly recognize the talent that she has. I truly enjoyed her, for instance, in Shang-Chi. You know what I mean? Where to the point, there was much less of the AAVE bullshit in it. You know what I mean? Less of the jive. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me, a lot of what she does reminds me of that scene in Bamboozle where the writers are sitting around and it's like, hey,
here come the judge. Here come the judge.
All that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, like I know black people type deal. You know what I mean? Like that shit's old. It's 2022. we sick, we fed up of that. You know what I mean? So, but
I hope it's not in. I hope it's not in 2.
yeah, to that point,
I
yes.
hope it's not in 2.
I hope they find a way for her to,
because that bullshit in 18 might have
yeah,
flown in 18.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
Later
it
for
ain't
that.
gonna fly in 22.
Later for that. Later for that. And
Yeah.
anybody that's down with that, you know what I mean? Like we not
Chino XL.
right. F you too.
Yes.
Mob Deep F you too.
Yeah.
All of them jokers, man. But yeah, man. So, but I mean, again, you want to, and her family, you know, like it's Ken Jeong, like, you know, I mean, again, you can be funny and be a character without denigrating other
And
characters.
his caricature was the super rich, the super rich. He was making fun of the rich Asians there, like,
Right.
but who were all about excessive things that were American.
Yes, yes. And the starving
Western.
Americans.
Yes.
like I mean, that's the best part of the film. But I digress. I digress. I want to talk real quick also about Michelle Yeoh, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, please.
On the other end of the spectrum, you talk about I mean, she's such a classy actress. She is such her range to go from the roles that I mean, she's played a Bond girl. She's played
Rightfully so.
She's played
Yes.
a badass warrior in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She's done it all. And her as the matriarch in this family. And you know, playing the what ostensibly is the Alexis
Carrington.
Alexis Carrington, yes. Like the, you know, just this, you know, the matriarch of this family that is above it all and can talk down to people because, you know, of her forgetting how she was treated as a young wife, young, you know, when she was sent to when she was sent to buy that hotel or whatever the story was at the hotel, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Forgetting those indignities that she had to undergo because she didn't feel as though she deserved to be treated that way. So she's of the mind to be able to say, you know, what is and what isn't for her son in terms of like looking down her nose at Rachel. I just thought that she played that role so well, man. And you know, again, she just, I couldn't see anybody else playing that role but her. She's just, she has that elegance to her. Just an amazing actress. And really, I thought she played the hell out of the role. She didn't give any quarter, even when she you know, recognized when she lost. You know what I mean? Or I mean, she won, but she lost. You know what I mean?
It was a nod, baby. She just gave that nod.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the nod, brother. And it was like,
exactly.
okay,
exactly.
all right, here we are.
But yeah, man, you know, and but again, she's just an incredible actress, and I was really, I enjoyed her performance probably more than anybody else's performance in the film. What about, how do you feel about her? Do you have any thoughts or any counter to
No,
that?
I thought she was strong and tough and but stylish and smooth and she had power and she knew how to wield it.
Yeah.
And but she was outwitted.
Yeah.
Because I just finished Gilded Age, and there's a scene in that film where, or that show essentially, or a theme that regardless of how powerful we think we are, our children can have power over you.
Yeah.
I don't care how powerful you are in a certain society or a setting or whatever.
Yeah.
Your child's happiness or unhappiness will make you change your mind real fast about something. Sure. And so I mean, she showed the vulnerability when she had to, but it was only for a fleeting second. And and I thought she played it beautifully. And which I mean that it puns wild. Puns absolutely wild. I mean, you know, so I really enjoyed her performance in this film. Absolutely.
So trying to think of any nitpicks about the film? I mean, besides some of the things we've already kind of mentioned?
No, I mean, other than Awkwafina, I have no problem.
Yeah,
with it, but I understand her role as the friend. Like I got that.
No, I totally get that.
But it just went too. Sometimes it just went too far.
Yeah,
and like when you watch Eastbound and Down, and Stevie would say "nigga," it was like, come on.
Yeah.
Like the first time I was like, okay, but then if it happens like season 4, it's like season 4. Like notice, Danny McBride never said it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Stevie Janikowski would, to try to act like he was being cool, like that was the thing that was said. But notice he never, Kenny never said it. I hope what I'm saying is making sense.
No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense.
It's also it goes back to Tropic Thunder. You don't go total.
Right.
Literally what Downey was saying to actors. Yeah. To actors in the world, don't go full. Yeah. I'm not gonna finish what he said, but don't go full, right? Yeah. You can go halfway, part way, but don't go full, right? And so she goes full. She goes all the way. Yeah. And it's like, man, shut up. Yeah. Like shut up. Yeah. For real. Yeah. So
not here for it in any way, shape, or form.
That would be my only nitpick would be her. There were some things I didn't quite understand about, like, how is Rachel supposed to know? She didn't know those things about her mother. Yeah. But she was still
held responsible for it. Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I didn't get any of that, and they treated her like she was hiding something, and they never really let her explain. No. No. And and always in these films, the men are the boyfriend's always weak as shit. And this wasn't much.
My biggest nitpick.
But go ahead.
That's my biggest nitpick is that.
And on to you. Talk about it.
Like, it's the Akeem syndrome, man. Because in a lot of ways, shout out to our main man, Reese, Shirley Shirts, Reese.
Shout out to Reese.
This is in many ways, this is Asian coming to America. And
he just said it.
It's a weak ass move to bring your girl all the way to Singapore. And first of all, for her not to know that the level of excess that you live. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to play the goat herder role. Now, he didn't play quite the goat herder role, but he was not truthful with her about what his family was about, who he was. You know what I mean? And I understand you want somebody to love you for you. But with that being said, when you recognize that person loves you and you're ready to make that step to introduce them to your family, you better let them know who the fuck your family is. Like,
particularly you got to tell somebody what they're walking into.
Right.
But then again, it's like, well, he hadn't matured enough to even. Part of me thinks he was a sacrificial lamb in that regard. And part of me thinks he was just aloof.
I mean,
and then I was like, all this much ado about her. I was like, her. That was it. That's just me. Yeah. But I feel that same way about Carey Mulligan in Gatsby. Like, this is Daisy. You did all this for Daisy.
Yeah. That's true. That's true too. But I mean, like, I don't know. I just find it to be disingenuous and punk ass, like, to kind of bring somebody into a situation that I mean, if you know that these expectations are going to be there, and you truly love this person, you need to let them know. Like, I mean, I give full disclosures, and my family members, we know who's crazy and who's not. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna have somebody walk into a situation where then a bottle of Malox is brought to the table, and they don't understand why that happens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna have you ready for everybody. I'm gonna give you the rundown. You know what I mean? I think that's just it's the Akeem. This is the biggest problem I had with Akeem and coming to America, man. Like, you don't have to be. I mean, I get it. You want Lisa McDowell to love you for you. You know what I mean? And Cleo McDowell's telling you can aspire to his mini mansion. He was being like, he was actually caring. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And to an extent, I mean, again, Nick Young was caring as well. I don't mean this like that he was just malicious about it. I think there was a certain level of ignorance, as you're saying, but I still find it to be kind of weak. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't have your lady walk into a situation. You know, I just think that you a part of being a man is having your lady prepared for anything that she might run into with your family and standing up for her. You know what I mean? And you know, I mean, to your point, I don't think he was emotionally mature enough to handle that, or thought he might have been. You know what I mean? That frequently happens where people think they might be, and then when the opportunity comes, and then you deal with the full strength of who your mom is and that love that she has for you as her son, and the fierceness, the lioness comes out of her, you know what I mean? And she's defending you. She sees maybe an ulterior motive or something along those lines, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I get that. But, you know, I think that, you know, that being said, you have to be at least prepared. So that's my nitpick for Nick Young, who otherwise was a stand-up dude. He seems like a great guy to hang with, all these kind of things. But I just think that, you know, and it's, I guess it's a movie trope more than anything, because I don't see it happening a whole lot in real life, to be honest with you. But like, prepare your lady for what's about to happen. It makes an excellent story, don't get me wrong, but I think they could also, you know, like, I don't know, man. She finds out that you're this magnate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I find it almost like, you know, if she's an economics professor, right? That's her field?
Yeah.
You know, you didn't know on her end. You don't know this family. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know there are families. I know there are lots of families. You know what I mean? We don't know every family.
That's the other thing. So Reese mentioned Come to America. Unlike finding out about who Hakeem was, you're an econ professor in 2018,
yeah,
or 2013. When it was written,
yeah,
you can look up something about this country and know who the movers and shakers are. Know
he's
who
got
the
a
Youngs
Wikipedia
are.
page. I guarantee you. You know what I mean? Like,
without question. And that just wasn't. That didn't make any sense.
yeah,
It didn't make any sense, unless she was just so strictly academic that she didn't have time to,
which can happen.
Be paying attention.
I got some colleagues that don't know anything other than a pipette. You know what I mean? So it can happen, but it's far fetched. It's far fetched. But I mean, again, you know, suspension of disbelief. You got to be able to, you know, to enjoy films and let go of some of these expectations sometimes. And so, you know, it's not a nitpick to the extent that I'm just like, man, fuck these writers. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So I talked a little bit about the music. Do you want to add anything else about music, or
No, I loved the way it was used. I thought it was great. I love the fact that the version, you know, it was in Chinese.
mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't concerned with your uncomfortability in hearing the song that you know, but sung in a different tongue. And so we're gonna make this. We're making a movie we want to make the way we want to make it.
Yeah.
And I love that about it. So I was all for it. I thought the musical choices were great, and the renditions I thought were wonderful. As well.
Yeah. You have any favorite moments or lines or anything like that for the film?
Oh, several. The bachelor party is definitely one of my favorite scenes. The end where mom nods to Rachel, like, okay, you know,
next to her mom. Yeah.
Engaged is one, engaged is one thing, but they had two nods.
Yeah.
There's a nod at the mahjong. There's a nod at the mahjong parlor as well, between Rachel's mom and Michelle Yeoh, and you know, there's like okay, we're here. I thought Rachel delivered that scene. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was great. I love the way she did that. I just never thought she was worth all that. I thought there was like, there's gotta be some more girls in New York, or there's gotta be some more girls somewhere else. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Well, that's how I feel about Lisa McDowell, man. Like, you know, I'm a Patrice stan. I like Patrice.
Sure.
I'm a Patrice stan.
Okay, but he didn't even meet. I mean, it wasn't even like that. I mean, he saw Shari Headley, and that was that. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't even go get the food. Like somebody else with the food. Hey, you want the good stuff?
Lisa from Cult Jam was out there, man. You know what I mean? Like it's some other ones out. That's all I'm saying, brother. That's all.
Peaches. Peaches was there.
All the DJs. There's a reason all the DJs want to feel her breasts, man. You know, that's
Joan of Arc in a former life. All those things.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. So another favorite scene, another great scene I thought was when Astrid helped her kind of clean up.
And
they were strong together.
Yeah.
And instantly had that, that bond there. Yeah. I liked that. Yeah. I also liked when Golding's character and Koo were on the beach kicking it. They got away from the party.
Yeah.
And they got and they did that. I love the party at Oma's, for the Iris opening. I thought or whatever the flower was. I thought that was absolutely, I mean, it was sumptuous. It was so lush. It was everything about it was so lush and beautiful. It was just it was perfect.
Yeah.
And so those are probably some of my favorite scenes. But pretty much Kim Ji-young at the table.
Yeah. Shout out. Kim Ji-young is an MVP, man. He's just
he is.
My fellow internist, my fellow board certified internal medicine doctor, Dr. Kim Ji-young.
He is a treasure. He is a treasure. He is a treasure. Yeah. But him at the table he was hilarious to me. And having grown up in North Dallas with some friends,
far North Dallas
with some friends. I mean, and having been educated with some friends who fit this description. About just the comfortability in their homes. It was just really interesting to watch. This narrative. And this narrative take place. I'll just put it that way. So, and I'm sure in the same way they're probably like bashing it. I'm sure there's a great deal of love for it too. Like, this is what we do. Yeah, this is what we don't care about y'all. We're only concerned with ourselves because we don't care. We just don't care. So I celebrate the whole film, but those are my favorites. So what about you? What are your favorites?
The dumpling scene is great for me. I like the hand making of the dumplings. The story about that. All behind that was really good. All the scenes you highlighted, particularly, I was glad that you mentioned him getting away with his boy, because I think we can all relate to that, man. Like you in a crazy ass party and there's your homeboy is there, you can get out of there, and they can recognize when you need to get out of there. You recognize when they need to get out of there. That whole thing I really related to and appreciated that. I really do agree about the ending, the mahjong game. The way that went down was perfect for Rachel. I think it was important that she showed her hand. You know what I mean? Like,
literally,
right? And I thought that was great. I liked. I guess I probably should have mentioned this in the little things, man. The travel, and particularly the air travel on the way there. Because if you've never seen it, you don't know.
And I haven't seen it. I've never seen it.
Oh, Joe, it's and the fact that there are levels to that. He didn't do what he could have done, but the travel was great. The parties, the parallel, the bachelor party and the bachelorette party, the shopping spree, all that stuff. I really enjoyed those moments as well.
I remember when they were traveling, she had like some food and like a Tupperware.
Yeah.
She had some food like a Rubbermaid. He's like, I think we,
I think
we'll be okay.
We're good.
Yeah,
We're
I
okay.
think
We're okay.
we're okay.
We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Yeah, man. And so the setup for the sequel, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's always kind of, Hollywood, they know when they have something, and it's particularly, it's a franchise for books. So they're books that are already out there for source material. Apparently it was announced this week that the sequel is a go. So
yeah, they got a new writer.
Yeah. So they got a franchise, man, and I think that's fantastic. That's fantastic. The material's there for that. I'm in. And not begrudgingly. I'm in all the way, no matter where I am, what I'm doing. When the sequel's out, I'm watching the sequel.
I'm going to theater now. I'm going to theater, or hopefully it's HBO Max or something. But I'm there.
For sure, man. So any rankings? Is this ranked somewhere with you?
No, it's a good feel good film. I again, the story is not incredibly deep. But I think it truly. I think people need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
To gain a better understanding of one aspect of the world, and I think it can now. Granted, this is a fictional film, but these things do exist.
No, they do,
and very much do exist. And I think to gain a better understanding of where someone's coming from, I think this film will help someone do that.
Absolutely.
How about you?
I agree. Again, as I stated at the outset, it's not like one of my like go-tos, but I'm not gonna turn from it if it's on, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm in for the sequel. It's great. It's a great film, very well made. And to your point, I'm glad that you had it on your list for us to discuss, because I think, again, people do need to see it. I think people who have not seen it would enjoy it, but also, to your point, have another perspective about what the world is and what rich truly means, what crazy truly means.
Oh yeah, crazy's over your shoulder.
And yeah, exactly. And crazy and rich. You know what I mean? The intersection of those two words as well, because for all the reasons, any permutation of crazy and rich, they all are applicable for this film. So. And the critics agree. It holds a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and movies above 90% and above. Generally, you're not gonna go wrong. So, and Joe's not gonna ever steer you wrong. So,
okay,
it's true.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right, Joe. Well, I think our next show will probably be an Oscar wrap up. Right.
I love it. Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, and hopefully
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Stevie Brown. Yes. And Nina. That was for Nina and Shay.
It was for Nina and Shay.
That was for Nina and Shay.
Delilah. That was for them again. That was for them again.
Yay. Hey, man. So until next time, I am Calvin Smith. He's Joe Carlos. We are the Open Tabs Podcast. We are available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor FM. Our visuals will be on the YouTube feed, the Open Tabs Podcast on YouTube. I think it's the Open Tabs Podcast 1867, if I'm not mistaken. It might be.
I believe so.
On YouTube, and if you follow us on social medias, we're gonna post those links and post those stories and post those the advertisements. Joe puts in a lot of great work on these. I don't use them enough, Joe. Man, I need to get tighter on my social media.
You're good, bro.
Yeah, man. These graphics, Joe. It's a labor of love, y'all. Hey, look, a lot of podcasters get paid for podcasting. They get paid, advertising. Me and Joe decide on a Thursday evening that we're gonna talk and record these things for you guys. We don't have a producer. We do not have
not yet.
Not yet. We don't have an artist on our docket. We're not getting paid. You know what I mean? So, but it's a labor of love because we love y'all and y'all love us back. The dedicated people that listen.
Thank you.
We do appreciate you guys. So
truly,
like us, tell somebody about us. Watch the movies, man. You know, I know we hear from Reese a lot about some of these movies that he's never seen before that he really enjoys, and I know this is the same for you guys.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate, you know, that he does that. Reese does that. Watching these movies he's never seen before. Actually, earlier this week, Anton told me about there was some movie I was talking about. I said, "Yeah, man, have you seen it?" He said, "After I listened to the episode, yes, I watched it." I was like, "Oh, okay then."
Yeah,
okay,
that's
then.
one of my favorite things, man, to hear from one of our people, and they're like, "Yeah, after I listened to you," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like, listen, man, you listen. Thank you. I appreciate literally anybody that's listening to us, man. We, you know,
truly.
Yeah, man. We got a great support system and great friends and family and others out there that just enjoy entertainment. So we're here for that, man. So until the Oscars, you guys watch the Oscars or don't watch them, you know, it's up to you. But I'm certainly gonna watch them, and I know you will, Joe. And look forward to seeing what surprises occur and what we can predict and not predict. You gonna do a scorecard? Yeah, I mean,
it'll all be guesses. I'll talk to my brother about what he thinks, but it'll all be guesses. You know,
much like my NCAA bracket, right? Like, you know,
oh Lord,
I didn't watch any basketball this year, and apparently it wouldn't help.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzaga's out, right?
Yeah, and it looks like
Arkansas. I know Bryce is going to be ecstatic.
Oh yeah. Shout out to
he's in the Virgin Islands right now. If he weren't, I don't know if he was able to watch it or not. I'm sure he was, but
he'll know. I think he already weighed in. Actually.
Okay, I gotta go back and check.
Yeah. And it looked like it might be. Well, I never want to say that Coach K is out until he's out, but Texas Tech was putting in work earlier, so hopefully.
Oh wow, today could be the day. Yeah. Today could be the day.
Yeah,
it's a Texas lottery song. Sorry, Georgia lottery. It's so long. I don't know whose lottery it is, but anyway. All right, man.
All right, man. Hey, we love you guys.
Love you all. Thank you.
Until next time. Peace. We're out.